Uli Jon Roth takes us track by track on the first Electric Sun album, EarthQuake. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Book. It was the first album he recorded after recording 5 albums with the Scorpions, Electric Sun and EarthQuake. I once took a trip to Vegas and I listened to every single last track on that album over and over again. It was the only album I listened to. So we present to you, track by track, Electric Sun and EarthQuake with our guest, Uli Jon Roth.
I like when bands name songs after the band title. Speaking of EarthQuake, that first song on that album is pure, just undiluted energy to me.
Well, we're playing that every night now, and I've rewritten it a little bit. I like it a lot more now because I was never so happy with the quote-unquote chorus because I didn't think it was much of a chorus. But the groove, etc., I liked, and now I've got a version that I'm really happy with. So for the first time in my life, I really enjoy playing that one live because it was never one of my favorites in the live environment. Now it's suddenly took on a new kind of life, and now it's one of my favorites. There's something hidden in that song that I can't really figure out, and we've never even performed it live. It seems like there's some kind of mystery that I want to get inside of. It's strange. We've never played it live, although I thought it was probably one of my better or my more inspired things back then.
Burning Wheels Turning. I love the opening riff of that song. Does that stuff just come out of you?
I don't know. It's a theme, you know. Don't ask me how I came up with it. It just came. I try to do things that haven't been done before, you know, that I haven't heard before, and that was one of these things. It's like a one-off. The song in itself, I liked it when I wrote it. I still like it, but I was never quite happy with the middle section, and that's also one of the reasons why we're not playing it live.
Japanese Dream from that first album, again, a gorgeous, really beautiful journey.
Well, it was written right after we got back from Japan in 1978, and it was just a dreamy chord sequence with a talking voice over it. A very unfinished kind of song, just like a dream. You know, it came out of nowhere and it went nowhere. It didn't really have a very clear chord structure. There were some chromatic chords. I liked some of it, but on the whole, I always thought it was maybe a little bit too unfinished for my taste. That's also why we didn't play it live a lot. We used to play it live in the early Electric Sun days.
The guitar in the opening of Sundown, it blows my mind.
Yeah, that was what I would call a riff, probably. One of the closest things to a riff, you know, because I don't see myself much as a riff master or a riff merchant. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? You know, it was like just an exploration in A minor. And the lyrics were about a not-so-famous classical composer, Frederick Gillies.
Winter Days, another, I call those journey songs that just takes me to a place.
You know, that's always my thing, you know, the journey. I have an inclination to turn every song into a journey. That's why I never consider myself a songwriter, because I can write songs, but usually I start getting bored a little bit with just the song format, and I want to break out of the format, and I tend to be more interested in the larger structures. So if I have like a good idea and then I like to take that idea on a journey, just like you said, you know. And so I think usually my better things tend to be these journey kind of things, of which each one takes on a completely different life, and I'm usually surprised at, you know, where it ends. The song itself takes me on a journey. You know, over the years, I've written quite a few of these journeys. To me, they're a little bit like mini movies. Yeah, like I'm inside of a musical movie. That's the way I like it, you know. It's not so much like a very concrete story. It's more a movie of emotions, images, and hopefully mental 3D environment. That's the way it presents itself to me. With surprises, with ups and downs, with even wrong turns and then corrections, right turns, and just like a movie. That's very much my kind of thing.
I saw the title for Still So Many Lives Away before I heard the song, but the title just begs from going, okay, what is that song about?
It's about the fact that I tend to believe in the principle of reincarnation. So in fact, I'm sure, scientists aren't, but it's good enough for me, I mean, you have to know some things deep inside and hold them dear, and I do, and I don't need any scientific proof for these things. I am convinced that we as human beings are born as spirits into a body, but there is a cycle. After the body dies, this spirit moves on, and it goes back to what Jimmy used to call spirit land, which is a multidimensional place, usually very beautiful, although I think there's also places that are maybe less than beautiful, where you don't necessarily want to be. And I believe that in our solar system, there is a chain of rebirth that affects people that you can be part of. So I think the souls of most people will go through many, many lives. And during each life, and then each incarnation, we it's the same spirit, but it takes on a different identity, a different body, depending on where we're born, who our parents are, and all this, everything works together. And so a reincarnated person may look quite different, in a different life, although I think that certain things will give away the game. Certain things stay the same, the inner core of a person. And then also it depends on how much a person is awake spiritually, or as opposed to being spiritually asleep, by which I don't mean necessarily just going to church, but basically finding yourself, and becoming active and alive or inspired, as you said. So that's what one of my core beliefs is, this cycle of reincarnation. And each time a person is born, it's a challenge, but it's also a great opportunity, because I also happen to believe in the evolvement of the soul. That means our souls have the opportunity and are being gifted with the possibility of advancing, meaning we can become better and better. We can actually grow spiritually. That means we are able to do more things. We're able to do the right things. We gain more knowledge of what's right and wrong. And some people think, well, what's right and wrong is a question of perspective, Yeah. It sure is. But I believe that there's an eternal right and wrong, a universal right and wrong. And the more our soul is awake, the more we will be able to be in tune with this kind of universal or cosmic principle of right and wrong. And the less we will want to do things that are wrong willingly. Everybody does things wrong, we all do. Usually it's because we don't know that we're doing something wrong. It's just ignorance. But sometimes we even do it because we're just weak or whatever,
Or scared, yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Let me ask you about the last track, EarthQuake. You went out of that album big. That was a big tune.
Yeah, that was a big one, and I wrote that one already in the year before while I was still in the Scorpions, and I remember thinking about it during one of the sound checks in Tokyo while we did our last tour, and I played a few bars, and then I thought, nah, it's impossible. I cannot play this with the Scorpions. It would have not fit the band at all, So I had plenty of reason to leave the band, artistically speaking, and that's what happened. But EarthQuake to me was The original title was Instead of a Symphony. It was called Instead of a Symphony. And I wanted to do a little mini Beethoven something, you know. But, of course, I wasn't able to reach that level. But I've reached some level with that piece because I think the end was actually quite inspired. You know, when it goes into the E minor drifting bass line, which is chromatic. So that turned out all right.
We also have 8 parts of this interview on our sister channel, our big rock channel, which is Rock History Music. There'll be links to that in the description of this video. I want to thank you for tuning in. These track-by-track videos are something we're going to try to get more into. We're doing the top 10 still and all that other stuff and concentrating on one album with fans joining in to talk about it. We just have a little bit more fun on this channel, and they're longer form videos. The links to all our channels are in the description of this video. Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Book.